If you implement this into your Bible study quiet time, it will be a game changer. You'll see things you've never noticed when you learn how to ask questions. We're in Matthew 8:14. When Jesus entered Peter's house, I want to know what came before this. Jesus healed a centurion's servant and healed a leper, right? So I want to be thinking about how does this connect to those previous stories. When Jesus entered Peter's house, he saw his mother-in-law lying sick with a fever. This is now the third sick or individual needing healing in this chapter. He touched her hand, and the fever left her, and she rose and began to serve him. What's interesting is in the previous section, Jesus didn't heal by touch. He healed by a word at a distance. So why does he choose to heal here by touching the hand of Peter's mother-in-law, right? And she rose and began to serve him. What does this mean? That she immediately gets up to serve him. And also, why is that the first thing she does as soon as the fever leaves her? She's moved to service. I want to think about where else in the Gospels do I see that idea of healing prompting loving service. That evening they brought to him many who were oppressed by demons, and he cast out the spirits with a word and healed all who were sick. So here we go. Jesus is casting out the spirits with a word. And it's happening when? At evening. How did these people know to bring the sick, the oppressed, those who needed healing to Peter's house? And why did it take till evening for that to begin happening? And Jesus heals all who were sick. Why does he not make a distinction between anyone? Why is he healing every single person, irregardless of their circumstance and sin and moral condition? Why is he just healing everyone? And what does that emphasize about the authority and the grace and the character of Jesus? This was to fulfill, and this might help us understand, what was spoken by the prophet Isaiah. He took our illnesses and bore our diseases. If Jesus is here taking the illnesses and bearing the diseases, what does that teach us about the ministry of Jesus? What does this teach us about the authority of Jesus? And when we think about how Jesus heals her by touching her and then heals these people with a word, why the difference in healing? Why not a consistent methodology all the time? And again, how does this connect to the previous two stories in this chapter about Jesus healing a leper and a centurion's servant? We have an unclean man, a Gentile, and now we have a mother-in-law, and a bunch of people are gathering. The next video, we're going to jump into the cost of following Jesus. I want to be thinking about how this relates to the previous three events about Jesus' authority, his power, and his love for the crowds. So be sure to watch that video.